All right, I'm glad that's over.
And I am not getting on one of those things. You can forget it.
I noticed a ton of water right there. You know how we are with water lately. Late that night, there is a dead body found here in the metro.
I was scared, but I bit the bullet and I did it.
So the time has arrived. Auto mechanic Kyle is going to try to fix the damaged bumper on the truck from the accident. So if this is your first time, I am Kyle.
And I'm Michelle, and we're the Wandering Shores.
So it's been a while since we released a kind of on-time video, and that's what this week's all about.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up, guys. We're wrapping up our time here in the Hoosier State.
Indiana.
So this week's video is we're gonna get you run up to speed. Probably over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been catching up with friends, saying our goodbyes. This is our last weekend here. We're leaving in like 2 days.
I can't believe it.
From when you're watching this video. 3 days in total. And
the 2 months flew by.
Yeah.
But I was able to go on a family vacation up to Michigan with my older sister, her husband, and my mom and dad, and that was such a great time.
Yeah, we're gonna share a little bit of that with you. She did some filming up there, unsolicited by me, so I haven't gone through it to see the quality of it quite yet, but I have faith. So they had a great time there.
He'll have to use some of it.
And then I've been doing some projects around here. I'm gonna share some of those this week. Wish me luck, everyone. So it's Memorial Day weekend, and Michelle is up in Michigan with her family on a family vacation, and I'm holding down the fort, watching the kiddies, etc. And I'm here at Fort Bend Fit to do the Murph workout. This is a keynote or primary workout on Memorial Day weekend in honor of the Michael Murphy, who sacrificed his life for this country. And it's 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, and another mile run. I don't think I've ever done this because we've always been gone on Memorial Day weekend camping with our friends Eric and Stephanie from Toledo up in Michigan. So Michelle's done it, but she's done it at the campground in years past, and I just never have. So wish me luck. I'll let you know how things go. All right, I'm glad that's over. So I ran a mile. It's probably the first time I've run a mile in decades, probably. Did it in 11 minutes. I'm pretty happy with that. Then 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, but I broke them into 20 sets of 5, 10, 20, or 5, 10, 15, and then ran another mile at the end. So I finished in 60 minutes and 8 seconds. Now it's time for a cookout.
So Scotty and Sherry got a new pair of jet skis, and I am not getting on one of those things. You can forget it. Hey everyone, I wanted to give you an update on today's jet ski outing. I had the most fun. I was scared, but I bit the bullet and I did it, and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't breaking any speed records by any means. I was going, I believe, 7 miles per hour on the jet ski. So huge shout out to Sherry and Scotty for this great outing today on their jet skis. So Dad, how are we getting up to the mountain?
We're taking the lift.
We are on the lift, and you're not scared, are you?
Not at all.
No, I'm not either. Sherry's petrified. My sister is petrified of being on the lift, but
This is the easy way.
yeah, so they're gonna take the walk up the mountain. Ooh. So Dad and I made it up the Sky Bridge. It was easy peasy lemon squeezy, and you know, going down will be just as easy. So, but we're up here at the top. We're waiting on Mom, Sherry, and Scotty to make it up the hike. But this sign back here shows 4 different activities you can do while you're here. I know we're gonna do the Sky Bridge, and we'll probably try out the Cold Springs walking path. I'm not sure how long it is, but we're going to pass on the zip lining and pass on the disc golf. Kyle's been on a suspension bridge when he was in Canada, but this is my first time on the bridge. And Sherry, Scotty, is this your first time on this one?
No, second.
No, yep, second.
Second time, okay. Yeah, Sherry was a little apprehensive. She's glad there's not as many people today, because she said the more people that's on it, the more it shakes. So comment below.
You can't go as fast.
Yes, and you can't go as fast, so you have to slow down and like wait on other people. Comment below if you like suspension bridges.
So happy Memorial Day to everyone. I am here. Michelle is still in Michigan with her family on vacation. We had a really bad thunderstorm, and I was getting ready to go outside. It had just stopped raining really hard, and I noticed a ton of water right there. You know how we are with water lately. So after doing some investigation, let me show you what this mess looks like. So I think what happened, I'm gonna take you outside, is I washed the RV the other day, and I don't know that I did this when I was washing, but it's very possible since it was just kind of timed appropriately or inappropriately. We have a black tank flush valve on the side of the RV, right here. It's all taped up now, but right there. And I noticed when I came out here that the top of it, the silicone had separated, and there was a huge gap between the top of this valve and the side of the RV. So I think water was running down the front of, or the side of the RV and right into that hole, which went under the sink, into the cabinet under there, and just flooded everything. So the bathroom water was everywhere on the bathroom floor, and it had run out into the living area. And so luckily Scotty and Sherry had a bunch of fans I found in the garage, so I've got those in there. They had a small little space heater. I've got that in there heating up the air to blow the hot air around, and I'm just gonna let it run for, I'm gonna let those fans run for a couple days probably. I can go in the house and use the restroom. So yeah, seeing water on the floor and then having to figure out where the heck it came from. The joys of RV life. Hopefully. Oh, and I ordered another one of those because that one seems to be a little warped. I don't know, it's from the hot sun or something over the years, and it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So tomorrow is Memorial Day. I'm hoping it'll still come through Amazon, and if so, then I can replace that one and reseal everything, and hopefully get that outside section all cleaned up. All right, it's the next day and Amazon came through. I've got it all set up. I've got the butyl tape on the back. I've got the water seal tape wrapped around it, and we got more rain last night, and this jimmy rigging of it actually worked pretty good. So I'm going to take this all apart and install the new one, and hopefully everything fit. Good to go. And I think it's fixed. I got mounted in there. I adjusted the holes so they weren't the same screw holes as there was before. That way it wasn't so loose. And I put a nice bead of silicone around it, and hopefully that's gonna work. I don't really use the black tank flush that much since we got a composting toilet, but clearly the water getting in was a bigger issue. Good morning, everyone. So I guess things all kind of work out the way they're supposed to. I was supposed to meet up with my buddy Eric down at the gym today at noon, which I haven't gone to a noon class yet, and he got a surprise visit from his sister, so he had to cancel. And I was actually thinking about this last night, and so it gives me a perfect opportunity to go out for a mountain bike ride. Michelle's over visiting some school friends, and so I'm gonna go out today on a trail that's probably about 2 miles from here. It might be 3 miles riding, and go do Rangeline Nature Preserve here in Anderson. So it's a trail we've ridden many times, but I haven't ridden it since we've been back, and we're closing in on our departure day, and I wanted to get my butt back out there. I want to make a commitment to getting more hiking and definitely more biking in this summer and fall, and this is the start of it. So I'll take you along for a little bit of the ride. I'm not going to film the whole thing, obviously. So I made it to the trailhead. It's not off to a good start. I took a wrong turn, ended up in the Mound State Park, thinking I was still on the sidewalk and it was part of the actual state park. So got to a dead end, had to turn around, but ended up being 4.1 miles. It probably would have been about 3.5 had I not got off track. But more significantly is, let me spin this for you. Sorry, the GoPro cut off. So when I'm pedaling, I don't notice it as much, but when I'm coasting, I'm like bump, 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 bump. So, oh well, but there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm gonna go ride the trail and then take you along and show you a little bit about this trail. I'm riding the intermediate loop. It's about 5 miles, I think. And hopefully the tire holds up, and because if not, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll probably end up having to drop it off at a bike shop later today. Welcome to the roller coaster. All right, so I guess the trail that I downloaded on All Trails was actually not the intermediate trail. Turned out to be the expert trail, which is fine. I've ridden it several times before, but yeah, 5.8 miles, and had a good time. I thought while I'm sitting here for a second, I tell you a quick little story. I'll have to look up when I get home and see if I can find the newspaper clipping on the internet or something, but back in 2020, before we hit the road, Michelle and I came out one last time to mountain bike this trail. I think Michelle was with me. She may not have been, but I'll have to look and see. I'll have to ask her when I see her. But we were riding probably about 3/4 of a mile to a mile into the trail. And we came upon these 3 people that were hiking, and they were definitely not wearing what I would consider hiking attire. They were like wearing like skater shoes and jeans and like a heavy sweatshirt or whatever. And they stopped us for a second and said, hey, oh, and they didn't look like they were in any kind of hiking condition. They were pretty out of shape. They asked us if there was what they referred to as a bridge crossing or a creek crossing on a bridge kind of a little bit further down. We were going the same direction as them, but they seemed to know that we had ridden this before. And they said that their friend was out here the other day and dropped their cell phone, and they were coming to look for it, but the friend wasn't with them. And so I said, yeah, I think there's a little wooden bridge crossing. I probably showed it in this video, not too far from here, and that was kind of the end of it. And we did the rest of our loop, and when we got back, they were sitting in their car, and this car was kind of like a lowrider. It was an old, like maybe late 80s, early 90s LTD, like one of those big boats. And they were all sitting in there smoking cigarettes, and they said something to us. I said, oh, hey, did you guys find your phone? And they said, oh no, we couldn't find it. So we just turned around and came back. So we get home later that day, and on the news late that night, there is a dead body found here in the metro parks, or in the nature preserve. I'll hopefully find that clip and show it to you, screenshot. And I don't know if they had anything to do with it. The very next morning, kind of when I found out about it, they had already kind of investigated it and arrested the guys. I think it was a young kid, arrested his roommate or something that didn't live too far from here. But I have always wondered whether or not they were out there you know, as part of that whole ordeal, trying to find a cell phone so that it didn't leave a trace or whatever. But yeah, it was a little freaky the very next day when I found that out. And as I was riding today, I didn't have my camera on at the time, but there's a log out there probably about 2 miles in, so it's well beyond kind of where they were at, but it's close to where there's like a side entrance from a neighborhood. And there's a tree stump out there that's kind of laying down broken, and sitting on it are like 3 troll figures, a little angel figure, and some little flowers. And I'm wondering if that's a makeshift memorial to the kid that got killed out here, or killed wherever he was and dumped out here. So yeah, this nature preserve's got a little bit of history with us. So but yeah, had a good ride. Got to get set and ride back, and I'm gonna take a few minutes to rest and get a drink, and I head back home, and I'll see you shortly. Made it back safe and sound from the bike trip. Took my bike tire to the bike shop locally, and it's not often you go and you get good news at a repair shop. So he said the wheel is super true, and it turns out what's going on, and I can't really show you here, but the big thick fat inner tube that I put in it to protect myself from Arizona thorns has bubbled out, and bubbled out a little bit of the rubber on the tire, and that's what was making the clunk clunk clunks ride. So all I got to do is put this new inner tube, a thinner one version as well, in the bike, and it should be good to go, he said. So you know, I really appreciate, shout out to Buckskin Bikes here in Anderson for taking the time to put it up on the wheel straightener and see that everything's good to go. I just need a new inner tube. So the time has arrived. Auto mechanic Kyle is going to try to fix the damaged bumper on the truck from the accident that we were in about a month and a half ago. Still no contact from the lady who caused the accident, no insurance, nothing, so I assume she is probably continuing to drive, even though she has no license anymore, if the police stuff has gone through. But so here's the situation with it. According to the body shop, it's about $900 or $1,000 to fix. I have a deductible that's $500. It doesn't make much sense for me to claim it on my own insurance to then pay, you know, basically to have them pay $400 of it. This is actually the section that's damaged right here is called the skid plate. And if I was to buy that piece brand new off of a website, it's about $350. I don't know if there's shipping or not, but so I figure I'm gonna go ahead and try to fix this myself. As you can see, I have a hammer, a rubber mallet, and a 2x4 down there. I'm gonna try to hammer it out from the back. I'm gonna try to fix this myself. I think I can at least get it looking fairly decent. It's not horrible anyway, but if push comes to shove and everything just gets looking even worse, then I can always just buy a new skid plate and bolt it back on there for, you know, $400, which is still less than the $500 deductible I have on my insurance, and I haven't made a claim. So I'm going to put you in time delay here and hammer it out and see what I can get done. Well, it hasn't done much of anything. Yeah, it's not popping out, and I think the next option might be to take the skid plate off completely to see if I can kind of lay it down on something flat and hammer it from behind. There's like a plastic, I think it's the plastic mount from this grill thing here that's kind of in the way for me getting a real good hit on it. Yeah, I'm gonna look up and see if I can figure out how to take the skid plate off without having to take the entire bumper off. And if that's possible, maybe I'll try that. If not, it may just stay the way it is. I'll keep you updated. Auto Body Shop by Mike and Kyle. We decided, oh, by the way, we're fast forwarding a few days from when we last left you regarding this whole bumper situation. So the long and the short of it is, I was not able to find an easy way to remove the skid plate. However, removing the bumper itself is actually not that difficult, apparently. But once I got the right tools, it was a little bit easier, so it took me a couple days because a few of the bolts were seized up, so I had to spray some penetrating oil on it. But I've now got them all loose, so Mike and I are going to take this off, and then we're going to show you what we're going to do with it. All right, here's the update. I was able to hammer out the dent a little bit, but I think once I finish the job it won't be as noticeable. But here it is. You can't really tell probably very well, but I'll show you when I put it back on the car tomorrow. Basically, I've got it setting out. I just washed it real good. I'm letting it dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to set up a system and I'm going to paint it. Do a whole fresh thing of paint. That way those 2 screws I put in there to pull it out aren't as noticeable, and we'll see what happens. So check back tomorrow. Michelle and I have got it installed. Here is the finished product. So the dent's still there, though you know, I wasn't able to get full access to it because I didn't have this like big star wrench or bolt removal thing that I would have needed to take everything apart. But it's all right. It's better than it was. It's not great, but I did get everything repainted, so it's got a nice fresh coat of truck liner on it, and I'm happy with it. So today is our final day here at the gym. It's our last weekend in Indy, and we got here early to go to the 9:30 class. We're here right around 9 o'clock, and there's no one here. So obviously the run to see the shores is not very high, but we are excited to work out. I think there's like 9 people signed up for the class we're taking, the burn class. But some of the owners are running a Spartan race down in Cincinnati today, so shout out to them. Hope you're having a great race. I know Brad's running like a 30-miler or something. It's crazy. The longest Spartan race I ever ran was like 10 or 12 miles. Usually I did the sprints, which were like 3 to 5. So luckily I had the code for the lockbox. Brad had given it to me for the day that we were going to organize the cleaning of the gym a few weeks ago. So I was able to let Michelle and I in. She's actually sitting out in the car. I think she's confused at how I have a key for the gym, but that's how. But yeah, so we're here, gonna work out, and then we're heading over to see my old boss Adam and have a little cookout, and kind of as a last hurrah. I haven't seen him since we've been home.
Yeah, bye Fort Bend. It's been fun. Thank you so much for letting us come back.
Thanks for the hospitality and the open doors.
Good to see everybody again.
Yeah, it was great seeing everyone.
This is definitely our community.
Yeah, so we'll miss you. So before you leave, we got one more thing for you.
Yeah, as we close out this video on our visit that we've had here in Indiana,
2 months.
a quick 2 months at that, we want to share with you some photos that we took with family and friends while we've been here.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoy these photos. Stay tuned to the end, and we hope that you will continue to follow the Wandering Shores. I know we did a video on the fact that YouTube hates us. We've made some decisions on what direction we're going with regard to our channel, and it's not yet ready to be revealed. We will have a short video. That one was like 17 minutes. Our update on what our plan is going to be a much shorter video, but we've got amazing support.
Oh yeah.
And some people took a lot of time and effort to give us some feedback on what they like, what they could do without. And I think it's pretty consistent with what we were thinking. So we'll be sharing.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, so stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. That'll be coming in the next week or so. But we're hitting the road on Tuesday, and we're going to be traveling again, and we're going to be sharing all of that adventure with you in the coming episodes. See you next week, everyone.
Great friendship, you know, over the years, from the last 12 years, the original Honey Badgers right here. That's right. You know, we're grateful for you guys in our life. You know, you guys have